everybody. I wanted to talk to you today and in the next video as well about how our memory works and how if we don't stay consciously aware of those facts, how it can actually taint our experience of life itself. So the first video is about how our memories don't really remember everything in our conscious awareness. It's just the extraordinary or unusual events that stick out. And we know this is true because most of us can tell you where we were on 9/11 when we heard about the events of that day. And not only can we tell you where we were, but sometimes what we were doing, what we were wearing, what the smells were, down to extraordinary detail. Or the same goes for all major events, whether it was when the space shuttle blew up, or Elvis Presley died, or JFK was assassinated, or the Pope was shot at. All of those huge things that affect us, and so our memory holds on to every detail of those events. But the same goes for our day-to-day life. We tend to hold on to, in our memory, the extraordinary events. So when your kids get home and you ask them how their day was and they say it was horrible, it's worth digging in and seeing what exactly was horrible, because there's a good chance that it was one very short-lived event that made them feel uncomfortable, embarrassed, afraid, whatever it was. And then it takes work to dig into what actually the other events of the day were and to help them to set some perspective and awareness about how much of the day was uncomfortable and how much of the day was actually perfectly fine and ordinary. And the same goes for our own memories. We will say we had a horrible day, or we'll believe we had a horrible marriage, for instance, because of a few outstanding exceptional events. And unless we work at and consciously focus on remembering the things that were ordinary and healthy and happy, our version of those events and of our lives can actually be tainted to the negative. The same obviously applies to really exceptional and wonderful events, which can also be dangerous. So if we had a few amazing experiences in a relationship that was otherwise not particularly healthy, it can taint us into remembering that it was healthier or better than it was. So that's my message for you today. Remember that we don't really exactly remember how things happen. Our memory clasps onto the things that were out of the norm or exceptional, and that doesn't mean that the whole experience was in fact that way. So focus on the other things that happened in the day, make a point of committing them to memory, possibly journal them or talk about them, and then we get a better perspective and a more realistic view of how our day was, and then that of course turns into weeks, years, and our life. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.